wants to introduce? Okay. Well, welcome to our listeners, viewers. We've got in the commentary box tonight myself, Dan Keeble, from a neutral refereeing perspective.
We've got Sam Griffin from Bath.
Sam Dixon from York, but Leeds alumni.
Thereabouts. So we've got two Sams and a Dan. And Joe, our trusty tech.
Hello.
So, what are predictions then from you both?
It's a tough one to call this. I mean, looking at the semi-finals, Tristan came through his 5-1. It was a much quicker match than Michael's. He was 3-0 down at the start of his match, got one frame under the board and then sort of clawed it back. So you could say Michael's had more practice maybe digging it out from a tough situation. But Tristan, if Tristan gets in front, he's a great front runner, and that could play on Michael's mind as well. Although if Tristan did get 1-2, Michael's done it before, so why couldn't Michael do it again?
So of course Michael was 3-0 down in his semi and pulled it back.
So
what do you say, Sam?
He's always been one. As soon as he gets points on the table, he gets in a rhythm, and then he can just smash out frame after frame. Like we saw in the semi-final, 3-0 down to winning it completely. So I think it's going to be too close to call at this stage.
I would say even after 3 frames, even if it's 3-0 one way or the other way, I couldn't count anyone out of this match.
No, I think they've both got this far. I think they can both pull it back if it starts going badly.
Yeah, definitely. I think they're both calm under pressure as well. They've both shown this. Michael to pull it back from 3-0 down, and Tristan in his semi-final only missed 2 pots in the whole match.
2 pots. Oh wow!
I think it's going to be interesting to see how the styles. I think they'll clash. Mike is much more steady, much more at his own pace, whereas Tristan will fly through quite happily, and he will attack wherever he can. So we'll see which one ends up playing out.
I think if Michael starts to make errors as well, Tristan will feed off that, and that'll give him extra encouragement.
So you know that Tristan has played in and done very well in other external tournaments. So does Mike play in other tournaments?
Yeah, I believe he was I believe he made it onto the England squad. I think.
Okay.
Yeah,
Excellent.
I think I saw him wearing the shirt earlier in the tournament.
Tristan's been invited for home nations over the last few years as well. But he goes to an English university and he lives in Wales, so he refuses to play for England.
Oh, would that qualify him for England rather than Wales?
Yes, so he wouldn't want to play for England.
No,
can't betray his home country.
No, of course.
You know, it's a great shot there from Tristan to.
Yes, let's have a look at the match. That's now started.
To leave the yellow right in the bag. Michael's already missed a red in this frame.
I can't tell whether the yellow that's on the black will ultimately go to that corner pocket where the yellow's sat.
It's hard to tell from our angle. I don't think it goes to the middle, looking directly at the table. On the camera, it does look like it does go to the middle. So
Yes,
very
in real
close.
life it doesn't look like it, but it does look like it will go to the corner. So clear the route to the corner, and well, that's plan scuppered.
This is going to get very scrappy.
A bit scrappy first.
Scrappy.
I think if Michael had delivered fouled there and left Tristan in, I think I'd have fancied Tristan to clear those yellows. So I think it was a case where in many frames you might try and capitalise and just pot the yellow and then sort of leave it up to Tristan. But I think in this first frame, the yellows were nicely placed that Tristan could have cleared.
Well, both players I think have a healthy respect for each other. They're not gonna do anything. I don't think they're going to assume that the other player is going to make mistakes.
I think
which is something that
I don't think either will rely on that. I think they'll just wait for an opportunity.
I think we find deliberate foul there. Although one of the rules they're talking about changing.
Oh, really?
The deliberate foul rule, catching the cue ball. These are all being spoken about this year at the 5-yearly Rules Revisions Committee.
How are they planning on changing that?
Don't know yet. One idea that's been floated is instead of having 2 visits, the incoming player can have 1 visit, ball in hand, anywhere on the table.
Or 2 visits.
Yeah.
Or 2 visits. So that's sort of halfway between American and.
Yeah.
Another idea is that deliberate fouls would just be loss of frame if, in the opinion of the referee. Oh, good shot there.
Lovely double.
I think that'd be very hard to enforce, because in many matches it's not refereed, and
It would be
Yeah,
very
it's gonna-
difficult.
I think that would make the game much more subjective.
It's also sort of heading towards black ball rules again, and the EPA certainly are very keen to maintain its identity and not get too close.
When you're watching snooker on the TV, to sort of reference to that, if a player has a really difficult snooker and they get very close and the miss isn't called, that's always a very difficult decision for the ref at that point.
Yes, it is.
So the deliberate foul rule would come in much more often and call.
And of course, with the stakes being so much higher, that if you call that deliberate foul, it's loss of frame. There's no between ground.
It'd be interesting to hear the result of that, but I can't see it going to the point where a deliberate foul would become subjective. It's a little tricky for Michael here, because the two reds nearest the middle pocket, nearest to us as we look at it, they don't, unless he's playing a plant, I don't think they can go anywhere.
I think he's just going to leave the cue ball up towards the ball end. Of course, the key to this frame is the red and the yellow in the corner there. Once that situation is sorted out, whoever can resolve it.
I just wonder if Tristan here could play the yellow just behind the black as we look at the table, and play that in behind the other corner pocket to gain control of both corners. I think that's what
That would be an excellent
that's what he
decision.
looked at.
Looking.
It's not bad.
Well, that's an okay finish.
Let's go with the 2 reds on the right.
I think he's making progress to what you suggested, I think. Another opportunity, he'll probably cover that bag.
Yes. Gain a pocket. Ooh, where's the cue ball going? Where's the... Ooh, that slowed up rather quickly, didn't it?
But also importantly, just a fraction harder, and he'd have pushed the red right over the bag and left Tristan's yellow a little awkward. So that was very close to a fabulous shot from Michael there. That's what Tristan's tried. Certainly, I don't think the red's pot now.
No, he's tied them up.
But I certainly feel you could get a red in behind that yellow still and make it awkward.
Yes, if you were to play as we look at the left of those 2 reds, full ball up towards that top cushion, you would think that would nudge the yellow towards the cushion like that.
Well, yeah.
Very well called. That's created a problem for Tristan, because he's totaled on all the yellows except the one in the middle pocket. That's taking him the wrong way up the table. He could DF here and just tuck the cue ball in behind the red he's nearest to.
He could do. That wouldn't be a bad idea. Doesn't look like he's going to now. That one struggled in. I wonder whether he was in 2 minds as to whether to pot it or not.
Maybe he just pinched the pocket to hold the cue ball.
Yes.
In which case that was a very
Just to
delicate
straighten
but
it
very
up.
well played shot.
It was.
Also a good indication for Tristan on one that's very close to the pocket on the table, levelness table conditions. If that rolled dead true, then he knows for future shots that may be a bit more marginal
Yes.
than that one.
Yes, I know that Tristan played his quarter-final on this table. Or did he? Maybe he didn't. I might be lying there. Actually, I think he played it on. I think he played it on 29.
It was a smart DF, to be fair, if it was a DF.
a little unfortunate where it's finished.
Yes, I think he just ran out of ideas a little bit as to what to do, so he decided to take on the pot.
But I don't think in this frame that's a big issue, because
No.
shots aren't pressures as they would be maybe in a frame when balls are open.
This one's going to be all about patience and just slowly moving things into a position where you can then finish the frame.
I have to say, having watched Tristan semi-final, it's maybe not the start I expected for the final.
Having refereed the Mike's semi-final, it is the start I expected.
Yeah, it's very similar, isn't it?
Which harks back to what we said at the very start, very contrasting styles, and whether Michael can sort of drag Tristan down by playing this sort of slow defensive play, whether that sort of under a while starts to get under Tristan's skin a little bit. It's not like he likes how to play the game. He does like an open attacking game.
More of an attacking player.
And we saw at the Southerns in his in the match he lost to Ed, how Ed was able to sort of pull him down and really frustrate him.
That's very true.
In one very long frame where just nothing happened, and
whereas in semi-final, here at Bucks, Tristan dished in both of his first two breaks in the semi-final. So he just when the balls are open, he will take the opportunity.
well, of course, that's something which Mike is not able to influence. A break and dish, your opponent can do nothing about it, and it does confidence of the power of good.
I think that's how progress the frame there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think
Tristan's now gained full control of that corner of the table. He's kept it tight so that Michael
Yes,
can't
that
really
red
clear
and
from
yellows.
here.
Yes, because of course the red that's stuck on the yellow isn't the only problem. With the one in the middle of the top cushion.
I think he's looking to flick that out, the one that's on the cushion on its own.
I wouldn't say it was a place where, in some places when there's two like this, you could sometimes come off the cushion, hit one into the other and get them both out. But I think the yellows over the other corner create such an issue.
I think they're too close, aren't they?
I wonder if he were to flick off the right hand side of that red, whether he can then.
Oh.
Okay.
Does he go for the pot, or is he playing safety?
Going for the pot.
Yeah, you can always do the exact opposite of what we say. That's fine.
What do we know?
That's why we're commentating and they're in the final.
Yes, and yes.
It's different up in the gantry.
We'll just move this one out into the open. That much harder, it might have dropped that middle pocket.
I think Tristan here could maybe play the one sort of in the middle of the table, because from the other two, maybe you could screw off one of the other two and sort of push in the one that's awkward and then clear.
A skill shot.
Yeah, but I would then say the one sort of in the middle of the table might be the most awkward.
I wonder whether that goes past the black to the opposite corner, the green pocket.
It may well do. May well do.
He's not looking at that.
Always move that awkward one off the cushion now, so they're both very potable. I think you'd have to pop the back one first as we look at it.
Yes, the lower one of the two, I think is blocked, but that's okay.
I think gradually Tristan's sort of edging maybe a little bit forwards in this. I think for Michael it's very difficult in a situation, he can get a bit stuck. But if he were to be able to get two shots in any way now, then he would be right back in it. But
it's a big if.
It is a big if. Big if. And if he could do it before Tristan does something.
He didn't look happy with that shot.
Well, that's the only thing I can see going on is if Tristan gets frustrated and does something out of frustration.
I think if I was at the table here, I might be tempted to try and clear. If you bothered the back of the four as we look at them and sort of screwed across.
You're a very attacking player, though.
I am a very attacking player. We'll probably get some contrast in commentary throughout the match. I hate a situation like this. I like to go on the attack, try and put the pressure on.
I really enjoy frames like this sometimes.
I know that some viewers will find it frustrating and will say that this is why World Rules is boring, but I'm with you. I think it's really interesting to see how the players respond to this situation they find themselves in and how they ultimately resolve it. It's a big test of character.
I wonder if Tristan had been, say, 2-0 up at this point, or 2-1, or we're a number of frames into the match, whether he would have tried the clearance at that point.
He might have attacked a little bit more.
Whether because it's the first frame, they're still both nervous and both want to get the first one under the board. Whether at different points in the match or in a different round in the championship, where there's maybe a little less pressure, the clearance might have been the choice.
So my memory is hazy. How did Mike do last year? He won it last year, did he?
I think he made it to the final, but was beaten, I believe. Possibly.
Okay.
I'm not entirely sure.
I cannot recall.
I actually had a year out last year, so I wasn't in uni or here. So
I was here.
No.
I wasn't here.
And actually, I can remember exactly what happened in the final. He was beaten by Ronan,
who's now graduated.
Who I don't believe he's graduated, but he couldn't make it this weekend. Yes.
Tristan made it to the last 16 here last year. Again, I wasn't here myself, so that was my placement year, so can't comment on that match. Tristan also made just a little bit have on his mind in a general scope of things. He's won 9 ball bucks this year. He might have just a tiny bit on his mind whether 8 ball bucks and snooker could be on the cards.
You're going to snooker as an institution?
As Bath, we will take definitely at least one team.
Okay, because that's next month, March. Is that March?
March or April. March, yeah. Moved to Derby this year, being run by the UPC.
How do you feel about the venue change? I sense a lot of people aren't happy. But
a lot of people aren't happy. Yeah. General consensus from Bath is we think that'll be a good move. That it's run by the UPC.
It's closer.
The location, when it's closer, but we did like the Bolton Snooker Centre. But that I've heard is out of the UPC's control this year because there was only access to 10 tables.
Oh, that makes sense.
Is what I've heard. It wasn't a UPC decision
so
totally. It was a forced decision.
Hands tied.
Yeah. So who ran it last year?
But I think the consensus from Bath is that they are looking forward to the UPC running it because our experience is that 8 ball and 9 ball have both been very well managed. It's very clear when the matches are on, it's been well structured, stuck roughly to timetable. So Bath welcome the change. Bath do welcome the change.
So looking back to what's in front of us, and not a huge amount has changed.
No.
We're now 20 minutes into this frame.
Yes.
Which you could say even at this stage could make it the longest frame of the match.
Ooh. I think there could be some mileage to this match.
Do you think? It certainly is the longest frame Tristan's played today. Possibly the longest frame Tristan's played this tournament.
Well, he's taking it all in his stride, just looking at him. Just deep in thought. Okay, so
now I fancy Tristan to go on the attack. If he could maybe move this yellow out and screw directly into the red, would he play a shot at it?
well,
Just composing himself, some background noise from the other table. It's not a bad idea. An important shot like this, if he's screwing into it, this is a very big shot. Let's see who's queuing.
interesting. interesting choice of shot there. I wasn't expecting that.
Could he, instead of playing the plant, could he come thin off the yellow sort of in the middle of the cushion as we look at it?
Mm-hmm.
If he come thin off it and just run the cue ball into the yellow.
Yes,
And then
maybe
not play
that was
that yellow.
that's what he looks like he's queuing.
No,
He's not. He's played the plant.
That's a great
Excellent
shot.
shot.
That is an
Great
excellent
shot. A little unlucky if he's not on the one he hoped to be on. Look at his expression.
It doesn't look like he's on the one.
Oh, he's
well,
down.
he's got down quickly.
He's on it.
I don't think it would have mattered too much if he'd had to take the other yellow next.
No, I don't think so either. I think both are fairly straightforward pots.
Because the black goes to both
middle.
middle pockets. That's
I
why
think
I,
he'll just
that's why I expect this
Drop
black to
this
end
in.
up.
Would he come
Yep.
off one cushion? Yeah.
Yep, just to bring the cue ball out away from the cushion.
Just hold his nerve.
Quick breath.
The black securely drops in the pocket. 1-0 to Tristan.
It'll be interesting to see how they both play this next frame with, well, Tristan being one ahead now, having points on the board.
Yes.
It's Tristan's break as well, which I think is interesting. Tristan, a few people have said Tristan's got, in their opinion, one of the biggest breaks in the tournament.
Well, I do
That's-
recall at the Southerns seeing a cue ball. How high did it go?
It was, say, launched over the next table.
It
But
launched over the next table and bounced on the bed.
That is
Um,
an achievement.
Yeah, he looked very sheepish afterwards, if I remember rightly.
he did that. No, Tristan's breaks are known to be very secure, very steady. Or is
But,
there a problem with the table? Where's the black?
Ah,
Straight away.
No, if he can get a break dish.
Oh dear, this isn't ideal. Oh, I can see the black going down the runner now. But have all the balls come out? Has a different one got stuck? I'm sure he put 6 in the table and only 5 in the runner.
Well, I'll have a look and see what's come out.
Otherwise, there'll be another case of having to put the plastic tub inside the table to catch the
Oh, I
balls.
hope not.
Oh dear.
I think you've called it there.
Now we're 2 down, so we've lost another ball. And in the table.
They're both getting a nice break.
It's a nice break. Will this affect the confidence at all? Will it distract either player having this interruption?
I think Tristan could have possibly been on a roll, having just won a frame and got the break, and as you say, he's a very attacking player. Don't know if this will slow him down a little bit.
Trying this tactic again, but we're now 2 balls down, so if we keep losing one each time, then we're increasing the problem. How many has he put down? He's put down 6. 6 are in the runner. The last one he put down didn't come into the runner.
Interesting.
He definitely put one down after the last one left to runner. I think it was in this near top left pocket. I think it's the issue pocket.
From a problem-solving point of view, I don't think this helps us too much. I feel like if you put the blackboard out each pocket, we would know if it doesn't come back. We need to isolate which pocket is truly broken.
I think it's this near left-hand pocket.
I was not expecting to be commentating on which pocket was broken.
I think it's the near. I think it's, from looking at the commentary, I think it's definitely the near left-hand pocket, where there's a piece of chalk inside that pocket. It's hard to tell, but he definitely put one in the near left pocket after.
Welcome to the university's puzzles challenge.
It's 2 inside the table. It's a difficult situation to solve that. I think if you put the white down the left-hand side pocket, that would be the next step.
What feeds into a different track.
We do apologise for this on the commentary. The match will resume.
It's riveting footage.
If anyone wants to learn how a table's built, we might be about to find out. Situations.
A determined man looks to be sorting it.
2 referees. Keeble coming in as well. 3rd referee. If one ball gets stuck in that pocket each time it's potted, then if they kept getting balls from another table, the table would slowly fill up.
Yes.
Would you be able to finish the
Get
match
carnage.
before the table filled up? Be
So-
interesting.
I think that what John Hope here, the senior referee, is just doing is...
They're out, we have a full rack. Hey!
I wondered whether he was just looking at trying to identify which pocket was the problem. But it seems to have sorted itself out.
Could be numerous reasons for this. Could just be a small piece of dirt in the pocket, just a small piece of bent metal.
Yes,
Tables can be quite sensitive to problems.
tables have feelings too.
Oh,
What's the issue now? Is it a different number of reds and yellows? Oh, there's still one missing.
he's got one in the hand.
He's got.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
got one in his hand.
He had a red in his hand. He had 8 reds.
He had 8 reds.
This is a bizarre situation.
Better look back at the footage and check that they're the same number at the start of the last frame. So we're now 30 minutes since the match started. I know that includes an interruption, but that is slow, you would have to say. Maybe slower than you would expect, certainly slower than probably their frame average over the tournament.
Is that something that will frustrate Tristan, or will he not be too bothered by it, and he'll just say it is what it is?
1 frame, no. If it goes to a 9 frame match, and all of them are like that. I mean, I've got to share a caravan with him tonight.
Oh, lucky you.
And I'm sure I'd hear a complaint or two if there were 9 frames that each took half an hour.
I'm sure that you wouldn't hear many complaints if he was on the winning end of them.
You'd be surprised.
I'll always find something to complain about, I feel. I know I do.
Tristan's the sort of person that he might complain about sort of slow playing things, but he would respect his opponent for doing it. He wouldn't complain about the quality of his opponent's play. He just doesn't like frames to go like that.
Yes, and what makes the game interesting is this variety of playing styles, and it's good to have that respect for your opponent's style, whatever the style that may be.
I think what can frustrate him is if the players spend a long time every shot thinking about a simple shot. That can frustrate Tristan. I don't think at this level that would happen.
A Peter Ebdon style.
Yes, exactly. And where the shots aren't timed, and where a player would take sort of 2-3 minutes on the shot,
Yes.
that really does frustrate Tristan.
Well, of course, now we're at the stage where we've got a referee and a shot clock. So
Anyway,
so there won't be any unduly slow play, so to speak.
coming back to the frame, Tristan's neatly mopping up the reds.
He certainly is, and
This is much more the sort of style of frame I was expecting coming into this match, having watched his semi-final.
it's too late.
Has he just got a little bit of angle on this to get to the other one? Yes. Oh,
A little bit awkward.
That's just the way.
Bit of an awkward bridge, but
if that's almost touching the yellow, I'd say that was more than a little awkward. Although he would want to run this through with top spin, so it's not sort of hampered the way he'd get on the black. But this is a real test of his cueing, because he has to do a little more than just drop it in.
I'm taking him tomorrow anyway.
I think he's got the black to certainly the corner. Do you think it goes to the middle? Off margin.
I think it might just go. I think
If
is he
he's
lining
straight
up
to-
the middle there? Or?
I think he's lining up the corner. Oh, he's lining up the middle.
Oh, no, it does go.
So, chalk up a first break dish.
First break dish. Tristan's first 2 breaks in the semi were a break dish. Can you repeat that in the final?
And to go 2-0 up puts him in a strong position.
I wonder if Tristan had won the lag and had the first break, whether that would have set a different tone to the start of the match. If Tristan had, I wouldn't say he would have broken and dished, but
To
if he'd-
go 1-0 up and go in front straight away.
yeah, if Tristan had the break and had gone full on the attack, whether that would have sort of set a different tone to the start of the match. But that's kind of been reset now anyway, so
Yes.
he's reaching in for the black. The black's there. All the
And
red.
of course, Mike in the semi-final, he
Oh, hang
he
on.
went 3-0 behind. So
We've
so
got
he'll
we've
be-
got 8 yellows on the table. have we?
This is
No, he's taking balls out of the table now. It's an additional yellow. Oh, the blacks. We do apologise about these delays between frames.
It'll be a repeat theme, I feel.
They may as well just get another whole set of balls on the next table and sort of just pick the ones they want.
Pick and choose.
Pick and choose each frame.
Well,
How many balls can a table steal from us in a night?
I think it would be better to get a second set of balls and avoid this interruption. Because if the table does start to fill up, as you may say,
well,
then that can be sorted out after the match. But I think this interruption between each frame is a little bit distracting.
that is the problem, though. Is that
The yellows,
Because
he's just
using
taking the yellows. So
using a different set of balls for effectively for each frame is not ideal.
No, I think they're both seeing the funny side of it, looking at the faces, so
Yeah,
hopefully they're not too bothered.
I wonder if the UPC are seeing the funny side of it. Possibly not, but it's the way it goes
Well,
sometimes.
that is the way it goes. It's no one's fault. You feel a little bit for the referee because he's just trying to.
Referee staying very calm though. Calm. I would say generally this weekend the tables have been good. They've been very level. I'd say the cloths have been very good.
Definitely, I've enjoyed playing on
I'd
them.
say
Yes,
the only problems have come with the mechanisms.
It's been with the mechanisms, and the reason for that is because they've all been recently changed so that they're now on permanent free play here in the V Arena, and they've replaced the bit that takes the coins with something that isn't working quite as well as it should.
But I would say that the sort of within the UPC's control is ensuring the cloths are in good condition and the tables are level. And I would
Yes.
say that those two things have been achieved very well.
Almost
The
certainly.
mechanisms are out of their
Most
control.
certainly, and,
So
and yes, Sue Mitchell, the table engineer, she works very hard, does an excellent job.
she's definitely been working hard this weekend on the mechanisms. So
Stan Grant, the other table engineer who's regularly here, he's away in Ireland this evening for the Euros. So if you're watching, Stan, Yvonne, a good evening to you. I know that Yvonne, his partner, is also involved in the EPA, often watches the stream, so
Michael here's taken reds. Potted one yellow off the break.
Be interested to see whether he goes for a more attacking style, which he seems to be eyeing up, as opposed to the sort of scrappy style of frames.
In some ways, it would surprise me a little if he did go on the attacking style, because that'd be almost playing into Tristan's style of game. And from the sounds of it, not Michael's style of game. Although I haven't seen him play in this tournament, so it's hard for me to comment.
I think generally he does. I think most of the time he does like to go for fast games, but that semi-final in particular was quite slow. But I think he can adapt. He can adapt to both.
I didn't think that went on the camera.
Nor did I.
Obviously, he wouldn't have played it if he didn't think it went.
No.
But I think it was a tough clearance. It's an interesting sort of style to go for. A little awkward for Tristan here. He can only pot one. And even if he does bring the white back, he's limited on options of what he can pot.
I suppose that could be why Michael went for it. Because
if they don't pay the full
if he missed as he did, it's not the end of frame necessarily.
Will Tristan here just try and play top spin and sort of move these, or will he try and... No, he's played around them. I think he'd be eyeing up the plant on the bottom cushion. What is he looking at here?
So Tristan,
He might go for a safety here, possibly.
You think he'd lay the snooker, or...?
well, there's an opportunity to get this very tight.
I fancy he'd play the plant. Yeah.
He has gone for the attacking option.
Now can he play the plant again, or is the plant
And
blocked by the...
it's not set, and I don't know if he can make the plant because of the other yellow, the third yellow.
If here, could he just play it? It depends if that yellow's on the cushion or not. I think it's just off the cushion. If he could hit that directly, he could lay the snooker very easily.
Yes.
If he can't hit it directly, it's a little more awkward because it's
Well,
got to make sure it hits a cushion.
He can lay the snooker by playing the yellow he's closest to and just running up to the cushion. Okay.
tried to pinch it. That's not a bad shot though.
That's
because
fine.
He's covered all the
That's
potable,
fine.
all the
It's-
potable reds.
It's safe. The yellows now all are in good places.
Michael
Good
hears.
shot.
If I were Michael, I'd definitely be playing off this red on the right, on the far cushion as we look at it. Get it into open play.
Well, I think he's got to try and hide behind something. Whether he goes to try and hide it behind the two reds,
And the black
sort
and
of
the
just
yellow,
below the
yeah.
black, or whether he goes to try and hide it behind the black.
I think if he put it about 6 inches to the left of the middle pocket as we looked at it, I think that would be safe and give a bit of margin for him.
Yes,
Just got to
assuming there's
avoid
no
the-
gap.
Just got to avoid a double kiss.
Well,
There was the double kiss.
not the double kiss.
Depends if there's a gap through. If there is a gap through, you can play the 3-wall plant.
Well, there's definitely a gap
Yeah.
through, but I don't know what angle he can get. I think he's fine. Yeah.
It's an interesting way to play it because you're trusting a little to luck of leaving the
Well,
second
I
plant.
don't know if he's got luck,
Judging by that reaction,
because
and
look at
there's
the
not much
reaction.
space.
These yellows are not set.
Can he get to the back yellow directly?
I don't think he
Let's
can.
tell on the camera, we're right.
He's having a
See, I
look.
think you can see a very thin edge of it.
If
Be
he
a very
can, then
tricky
that'll be
shot.
the one to play. He's
He
playing with
may
left
be
hand
able-
side.
he may
He's
be
playing
able-
with left hand side, is he? If he's playing with left and top, then he can. It looks like
Maybe
he can.
it's
Just a tuck.
cold feet on that one.
It's undecided. Maybe you can
He
hit.
wants to take it on.
You can see
you
his
can tell.
attacking style.
Settled on it.
Yes, that indeed. That is what he's gone for.
Oh,
And
very
yes,
good
he's
shot.
just able to
Excellent
drop
shot.
it
Do you
in.
think Michael would have taken that? Or do you think Michael would have played the tuck up there? In the
I
same
think Michael
situation?
would have gone for that.
I think Michael would have
Yeah,
as well. Yeah.
I think definitely. It's the sort of shot he enjoys.
It's a little
Good shot,
little
but he
tricky.
needs a little over or a little under. I was
Well-
gonna say a little under.
I thought a little over, say it.
It's like
Put it to the
Goldilocks.
corner.
You'll never know. Only ever Tristan will know that.
Well,
Oh,
oh, he's missed it. Oh,
Do you
it's
think
a bad
Michael-
miss.
Does that red near the opposite middle go? I think it does. If it does,
I
then this
think
is a
it
great
does.
opportunity. If it doesn't, he's got to do a little bit more.
he's got several options. Yeah.
That red he just looked at, if he played that. If he was in defensive mode, he'd play that and try and pot it and knock the black up the
Knock the
cushion.
black up the cushion, yes.
But if he wants to clear, then that would be to his disadvantage.
Another option is he could use it to just nestle in behind the red immediately to the left of it.
Yeah.
I think he'll be playing to
With
knock
the
the
one
black
cushion
down the
escape.
cushion.
That's what it looks like. Oh, it went.
Oh, that's a great
It went.
shot.
Good shot.
Directly from
Wow.
there, that was a good shot.
Now he will be looking at the clearance.
Definitely.
Now would you play across the table to play the awkward one by the middle? No.
No, I would play the one that he was about to play. Play this one to the corner.
I'd see what angle he's got. I think he's got a slight angle. Sort of go across away from us with the cue ball.
It wouldn't surprise me if the awkward one,
Oh, that's a great effort to move it.
which is no longer.
Well, now it's
That's
very
very
awkward,
unfortunate.
but it's fairly irrelevant, you would have to say.
Yes.
Tristan drops the black in. 3-0.
Okay.
Now, Michael's been in this situation. In his previous match, Michael's been 3-0 down.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see, will he have that in his mind? But equally, Tristan's a great front runner, so
Well, if he can knock in another break and dish, then it's a long way back.
I think
From 4-0, it's a long way back. Mike just needs to get a frame on the board.
here we
Once
go
he gets-
again.
Talking to him after the semi-final, he said he got to a stage where he just wanted to sort of enjoy playing and not put as much pressure on himself, and that was after the third frame, and then he played a lot better. So I hope he does that again, because I'd like to see this going a bit more even.
Equally, I wouldn't say Michael's played particularly badly so far.
No,
No.
definitely not.
He made an error in that frame, he missed the pot, which obviously cost him that frame.
Tristan just seems to be capitalising.
And that's the thing, is that mistakes are punished heavily.
at this level. They have to be punished
at this
heavily.
stage.
More incredibly, all the balls have come out. Which probably is problems seem to be over.
And I took one attempt. They did feed them through once, so
Well, hopefully the table issues have resolved themselves.
you would think it wouldn't be the mechanism itself causing just one ball to stay on the table. You'd think that would be more of an issue with one of the runners behind the pockets, but there we go. They're all back in play.
We're all back in play, yeah.
I feel like less than half the commentary so far has actually been on the pool, but let's try and bring it back into touch for the fourth frame.
That's okay. That's okay.
Just into break.
Do you think we're going for another dish?
Absolutely.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely.
I think that's what everyone goes for on a break, don't they? Until they reach a point where it's no longer odds in their favour.
Oh, the cue ball's in. That's unfortunate.
It's very unfortunate.
He held his hand up there. What was he holding his hand up for?
Was that frustration? Holding of the hand?
It's almost like an apology hand, but
Why do you apologise for going in off?
what's to apologise about? That's just a little bit. Oh, it's a
Oh,
cue ball.
no.
Ah, so
Oh dear. Oh dear.
I think we jinxed it.
This is where interruption really starts to become an issue, like in
Yeah.
the middle of a
Yes.
frame.
You
Inter
don't
frame
need-
is one
yes.
thing, but in the middle of a frame.
Between frames is mildly amusing, but in the middle of a frame, that's not what you.
Quickly resolved. Yeah. The white's back.
Okay, good.
What would you play here? Reds or yellows? It's cool.
I'd be tempted for reds.
I would
'cause
go
it-
reds.
Yeah.
There's one problem, red, and there are ways to develop that.
Do you reckon it'd be makeable plant if you were to plant a yellow into it on the first shot? Like a yellow into the red?
That would be ballsy, especially with only one visit. But,
Very 9-ball-esque.
I don't know how straight that plant is. It doesn't look dead set.
There is
Yellow red.
a good sort of 2 centimetres, I'd say, between them.
Yeah.
So I think it could have been made.
Oh yeah.
But if you did have to make it, it'd have been pushing the yellow towards the sort of middle of the 3 reds. Could have knocked it onto the cushion, made it look a bit
Yes.
awkward. So
It was a shot that was an option. That's for sure.
but it also was a shot that was an element of risk. Well,
That's unfortunate.
that's another rattle from Michael. I think that's his third of the match that he's rattled like that.
Oh, that will irritate him. But you would think that he would get back to
That's
the table.
not quite what Tristan played either, though.
So Tristan's left that rather short.
I'm not intending on commentating on the runner, but the last ball to enter is a yellow, despite red being the last ball that potted, so
Excellent
we are in for
news.
future problems.
Good spot.
That's a good spot.
You can't see that quite on the camera, it's quite dark, so we're focused on the table, but in the natural lighting of the arena you can see a little more. Ooh. Now,
Doesn't look too happy.
he can't really move the red. Could he get behind the red? Could he get behind the red from here, the awkward one?
I don't think so.
Well, is that what he played? I wouldn't say that was what he played.
No.
No.
It doesn't know.
No,
Shake of the head there. He didn't. There's going to be more problems after this frame. They had a problem getting the cue ball out a minute ago in the middle of the frame.
Of where?
Although looking at the side,
There's been
Oh,
endless.
both
There's been
parts.
endless problems.
2 reds are now in the
Need to ask you now.
in the
Every
run
frame.
there, so
The balls haven't come out properly.
I wonder
So
if
what do you
he's,
do here then?
I wonder if he's going to come off the red and sort of try and nestle up at the side of the yellow.
Because you don't want to disturb the red and the yellow, I don't think, because then
If
the
just-
yellows are all clearable.
I'd try and double this in behind the one Tristan tried to put
That's
over
what
the
he's doing.
That
frame.
is what he's
That is what he's doing. Good shout,
That's
and,
pulled off
and
well.
really well
Excellent
judged.
shot.
Really well judged.
So I should have
Tristan
said that a
showing-
little earlier in the commentary.
Just showing
we had a little time to think about
grudging
it.
appreciation for that, tapping the table rather hard a couple of times.
I would say that if you get appreciation like that from Tristan, though, it really is a good shot. to sort of get that sort of level of appreciation. I think it was a great shot from
That was
Michael.
taps on the table through gritted teeth.
And I would have said that was under maximum pressure because Tristan could have cleared these.
Yes,
I would have said.
for sure.
Especially when he's left the cue ball, because if the red hadn't been there, Tristan could have played the
So-
red sort of nearest to the right corner and then just screwed back and played the awkward one straight away into the sort of right corner nearest
So
us.
would Tristan take on the yellow nearest the red? Okay.
He's out. He's not left the pot.
I think he was trying to cover the red with the other red, effectively.
I wonder whether Michael hit. It would be a very brave shot, but whether he could come off the red with the cue ball that's nearest to the cue ball. So it's just a little obstruction from the players.
Just checking whether the yellow's frozen. I think.
If you could come off the red that's against the yellow, off the yellow that's on the cushion, and sort of carom the cue ball into the
Into
red,
the
over,
red, and then
the red over the pocket, that would be a
Would be.
massive shot to take on. But
ambitious.
that's worked out quite well.
Yes.
Yellow on the cushion. The
Cue-
one
good
effectively,
cue ball.
effectively the one Tristan just moved off the cushion. He's about to be double. I wonder if you could double it. Could you double that yellow that's on the cushion?
Between the yellow and the black.
Yeah, into that middle pocket.
I think you'd need to hit it hard to straighten it up. I'm not looking at that option. Just looking to get a good
Keep it
white,
tight.
good distance. In fact, is that a total snoop?
I don't
No, I
think
think
it
you can
is.
see that red.
I think that the red in the middle of the table. is
How
still-
much of that red can you see? There is the
Well,
key.
Is there enough to cut into the other red and pot it?
You
make
can see
a
he
very
can
good
see
point
enough to
there.
make the cut. I wondered if he could have seen the left, which he can't. I'm almost sure he can't see the left of it. But if he could have caromed off that into the red over the pocket as well.
You're a fan of those shots, aren't you?
I think you just like that word, which I've not heard many times.
It's a 9-ball phrase that seems to become.
Well, Karom is an actual game, I think. I don't know how to play it, but
I hope that's the correct technical term. Our chair of Key Sports at
Canon.
Bath has used it a few times. Obviously the canon, but I think Karom is a little specialist. Yeah.
I like the word. Anyway. Good forcing shot there.
I wonder if over the duration of this final, sort of endurance will start to become a factor as well. But it's already at 10 past 10 in the
10
evening.
10, yes.
Michael's had a very long match beforehand, whereas Tristan was relaxing for an hour, while Michael continued to play.
Oh,
And an hour's a really sizable break.
it is, but you wouldn't want too long a break.
No, but equally Michael had 10 minutes, and he's been standing or focused for all of that time. Whereas Tristan hasn't had to have been.
He was talking about getting a quick coffee before the frame, so he may well have liquid sustenance to sustain him.
Yes. This is it when you're on match after match. You try to not pot it. Much frustrated
red,
swish.
I don't think he's totaled, is he?
No, I think he can see.
Does it go past the yellow into the corner?
That's what I'm wondering.
I think he can see almost a full ball.
But could he play it into the corner where his hand is? Or
I'm thinking you mean past the two yellows.
past the two yellows?
That's
into-
what I'm thinking.
I don't think
I don't think you can cut it back to the green pocket.
it goes to the green pocket if he could see, if he could
if
get past the
see
yellow.
it, but I don't.
I think
It looks like he's going
Yeah,
to.
it
get
must
it.
go
gotta
past
watch-
the two.
Just got to watch the cue ball though, because he's playing it with the top spin, which is sort of forced into.
Oh, he
you
did go
could
for the
see it.
cut back.
Now then, Tristan's got a few problems.
Is this something he can clear up from, do you think?
These are minor problems, I would suggest.
I would think this is possible because
yeah.
the yellow goes past the red, which helps.
It does.
Just about both yellows go past the red near that corner.
It does. In fact, I'd expect him to take that
The one in
after
line,
this shot.
the one in line with the black. As we look at it, you'd want to sort of play the one over the right corner first, and then that one will become problem. Or you could play it as a double.
Okay. Looking.
It's a good shot,
It is a good
So
shot
it looks
because
very well judged.
it's developed the yellow,
and you've got
leaving
the black.
it very safe.
You've got the black in the middle pocket in the way if you try and hit it.
And now it's the age-old problem for Mike. Hitting it is straightforward enough,
Leaving.
but how do you get it safe?
There's a small chance you can pot it.
You could put it.
Tejal snooker's been called.
But you think you
Predictably.
can potentially play around the black with right hand side?
Yeah. So he'd just come to the right hand side of the middle pocket.
That's exactly what
It's
he's
a good
done.
hit.
It's not worked out. No.
But the red's in the middle of the table, so you have to
The
say
red is in the middle of the table,
you have
but
to say it isn't a fabulous result, but it isn't a terrible result. You'd have to say.
I don't know if you could call it an unfortunate result, because I think he would have been somewhat lucky to have not left anything at all for Tristan, but he could have left something a little bit trickier than this. And I would expect from here Tristan just to run these out.
I would have backed Michael to win this a couple of when he still had the two reds on the table. Now I'm not sure.
Yeah, it was unfortunate potting that. He could see at the time that was a big mistake.
Yes, well, by definition it was a mistake, but it's not something he was trying to do. I mean, that one, I would have been tempted, I think, to have almost treated it as a snooker and go for the one in the open, but
Now,
hindsight is a wonderful thing, isn't it?
you would think it would be fair to say here that isn't ideal position from Tristan.
Quite
Just
right.
going to lay the snooker.
Yes, just going to resort to the safety.
It's well played.
Perfectly good
It's nice.
snooker.
Smart decision.
Fairly straightforward for someone of Tristan's level. You've got to come off this and try and hit it. I don't think you want to play the DF here.
No, I think that he's potentially going to look up the potting angle.
I think that's a big ask because it's a fairly thin cutlet.
It's
You
quite
know,
a
it's
thin cut,
less than a
but-
half ball, and if you did miss it, that would be frame gone. I would feel.
So how do you get it safe?
You're welcome to go down there and play it if you'd like to. I mean, you've asked the question. I think you've got to produce the answer to that.
Well, I've suggested that he tries to pot the thing. You've refuted that.
Well, I think he agreed with you.
I did agree. That was a
did.
fabulous effort. You have to say that was
Yeah,
a
that
very good
that was
effort.
great.
And this time he's got a better white.
But Tristan's got a yellow that's attractive
Yes.
to that white, to the position of that white.
Good start there for Tristan. And now that first one is in the pocket and he's got control of the cue ball. So do you think Tristan will try and develop this yellow or just drop in behind it? The one down the cushion.
From his playing style, he does do both. It's not sort of he would always drop in. I think in this situation he might try and drop in, just screw back from here. Depends what angle he's got.
I think given where the black is, I can see him dropping in. In fact, he's going to play this shot.
I think by dropping in you remove the element of risk.
Yes. Yes.
Used all of the pocket and a little
He
bit
knows,
more.
he knows the angles. He knows the table.
As soon as it hit this near cushion, I did wonder, but safely in.
A little distance here, a little bit more distance than we would have liked.
At least he's not hampered by the red. Safely in.
Nice and
Strong.
nice and secure.
It's 4-0.
4-0.
Now then, I can't see the black in that runner.
No, nor can I.
I wonder if they just put the red down now, whether that would be enough to put the black in the runner. The ref hasn't seen it. He didn't check the runner.
Well,
And
too
now
late.
He's about to find out that the black's not there.
Yeah.
These yellows.
I'll go down and see if.
to be fair, Michael's gone for his toilet break now, so I suppose it doesn't really matter if they have to work this out.
Maybe it'd be easiest because it is always the black that gets stuck, just to get the referee a board pen marker. Black one. Sort it out. The shop at Bucks earlier was selling blacks on their own. Maybe now we can see why.
Should have got a job lot in.
Yeah, well, half the box had been bought, so maybe that was by the UPC to feed this table. So 4-0, first to 6. Michael has come back before. Oh, there we go. Black's still not in that runner.
Maybe you get some tops.
Yeah, 4-0 down, Michael. He's come back from 3 in a first to 5.
Well, I think
It's a long way back from here, you'd have to say.
he's taken his toilet break. Oh well, he's back now. But I think he's just done that to compose himself a bit and feel a bit more confident about his play. Again,
I don't think that's a bad idea when you're 4-0 down, because you're not exactly breaking your rhythm or breaking your streak, because you haven't really built one up as such yet. Sometimes, often in snooker, you see that the interval can change things, and maybe he's tried to create his own interval by doing that.
he does look a little more confident, I think, approaching that table.
Focus, maybe just a wash of the hands and things.
Okay.
Just feel a bit fresher.
Like he did in the semis, I hope he just sort of realises to enjoy it as well as compete.
At a moment when he doesn't have 100 eyes watching him, he can just have a moment to himself.
Yeah.
That's a very good break by Michael.
We're now on an hour of play.
An hour of play, the time's 10:20 p.m. Play, certainly for Tristan, started at 9:30 this morning. So he's been playing in the arena for 12 hours, except when he went to watch the rugby. Priorities.
I think the first frame was around half an hour, wasn't it? Yeah, so
So I think the style's been much more towards Tristan's style of play.
Definitely.
10 minutes a frame, which in match play you'd have to say 10 minutes a frame isn't a bad pace.
no.
Red Bulls have been nominated by Michael. Both are very good here, so you wouldn't have to say either was particularly prominent. Not left himself a sitter of a starter, but it's in. I just wonder if that red, as we look at the table a second from the left,
Yeah, I wonder what his plan
thinking
is.
here. I don't think it passes the yellow into the corner. He could play it into the middle here and swing round off 2 or 3 cushions to the little right hand side. He could play the double and just screw back a tad or stun it for the red into the far corner.
What colour is mine?
Michael's red.
Red. Thank you.
His keyboard joins back to the commentary.
He's been absent for a moment there.
Let's play double. Right in the middle of the pocket. He's on the red.
Excellent double.
Very good double. Very safe. Played it maybe faster than I expected, because at that pace, a fraction off it wouldn't have gone in.
Yes.
But he played it confidently.
Played with confidence, yes.
I think the short break has helped him. He does seem a lot more confident.
Is Mike a snooker player?
He is. Yeah.
Okay, so he knows the area.
Unhappy with that one. A little shake of the head.
Double. 2 doubles in 1 clearance. He's pretty set for the double, and he could just screw back and he'd be on the red nicely.
That was Veronica you saw just running across.
Was that the win of the match?
One of the lady finalists.
Was that the match?
No, I believe she's just gone for a toilet break. Judging by the
That's
speed
an
and direction
excellent
she
double.
headed in.
That's a fantastic shot. Tristan acknowledging that quality shot at the top on the table.
I think we might see another comeback.
I think if Michael got a dish under his belt, I think that would really bring up his confidence.
This is off the break? Or is this a reverse?
No, this is off the break.
This is off the break.
Michael breaking the first frame, so the fifth frame.
It's not a... Well, it's okay. It's slowed up.
Just a little bit no man's land though.
Third double.
I thought that was going to travel a little bit further.
There's no option here but to play it.
Oh, yes.
Unless you were ultra defensive and doubled it behind Tristan Jello over the opposite corner.
That would be overly
I think you're
defensive,
asking
in my
for
opinion.
trouble. I think you're asking for trouble. You'll be snookered endlessly if you did that. Fabulous.
Fantastic.
Fabulous from Michael to come back 4-0 down, produce the dish. And I wouldn't say it was an easy dish.
And the crowd will be pleased with that because they want a close match. A closer match. They want
More
to be-
entertaining. We get to
They
watch
want to
more
be entertained.
of this standard of pool.
I wonder what Tristan will make of that. Whether Tristan, in some ways, obviously would want to run out. In his mind, from there, you could even say 6-0. But whether he wants more of a match as well.
Well, I think some players it may sow the seed of doubt, or it may give him a little reminder just that actually he's up against a very tough opponent. But no, I don't think that Tristan will mind too much at all.
Looking at the players there, Michael just wiping his brow. I think Michael's feeling the pressure much more than Tristan. Tristan's been in many high-level tournaments before, so he's possibly more experienced with the high-level pressure than Michael.
Potentially, but
If Tristan were to respond with the dish here, I think that would hit Michael. I think at 5-1. I think if your opponent needs 2 frames.
I think that Mike is. I don't think he's feeling the pressure necessarily. I think
No,
it's
I
just.
don't
I think
think
it's
he is. I
just genuinely hot.
Yeah, no, he's a very warm person, is Michael. He runs hot. He's got a poor homeostasis. It's just
A poor
homeostasis. It's the body's way of regulating the internal
self-regulating
temperature.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's as we can see.
Karam was my word of the day, but now it's just changed. Homeostasis.
I think he was complaining about the thickness of the Leeds kit before, after the semi-final.
I noticed that it's manufactured by Under Armour, who of course make all the base layer and various.
Although, I mean, the old, I'm actually wearing the old kit, was a cookery one, and this is, if anything, even warmer because it's a jersey material. So I think it's improved.
That does look rather thick.
Yeah, it's very
These are
thick.
thick cotton polos for Bath. These aren't ideal either in many ways. And each year our kit supplier decides to send a different size for the same theoretically sized top. So no one's ever fits properly.
Of course it would. Why wouldn't it?
At the UEA, my university, we had polyester, which was not very pleasant, and actually would have been outlawed this year because they had no collars, all round necks. But
It is nice coming to the Bucks pool and Bucks snooker events and seeing everyone dressed smartly in the black trousers, the black shoes.
Yeah.
Creates a very good appearance,
yes,
and it is
and
very
those who aren't in the black trousers and black shoes are quickly
quickly corrected.
corrected.
I haven't
yes.
heard about that this year. So have you seen anyone that has been corrected this year?
Oh goodness, yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, exactly 5.
5 people.
Exactly fine.
5 people out of
We've
about
had 5.
700
700.
entrants, so 5 out of 700.
599 males and a little over 100 females.
Is this the biggest Bucks pool so far? Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, record numbers. Previous holder was 2 years ago.
I think little shout out. I think York brought the most teams. I think we had 4 men's, 3 women's.
Yep.
Yep.
Yes.
7
Women's-
teams.
In fact, the women's draw, whenever I heard it, it was always followed by York.
Yeah. There
So
were a lot of them.
that's 30 players from York, which is a really
contingent.
big
Yeah.
number.
Yeah, there was a large cohort.
Big contingent coming down the A1.
That's great to see 3 women's teams as well, because often
Yes.
the men's teams outnumber the women's teams, so it's good to see those numbers of entrants
really good.
rising.
Really good. So, back to this frame.
Oh yeah, pool.
We seem to get distracted at the start of every frame. Maybe we stop rattling on when the table situation becomes a problem.
So whose break was this?
This was Tristan's
This was
break.
Tristan's break. So Tristan looks like he did pot a red.
It's quite good that there's three of us on commentary and none of us have a clue what the first two shots were like.
No.
Well,
Have spotted that not the incorrect amount of balls are in that runner again, so excellent
it's the
news.
recurring theme, isn't
Yeah.
it? You'll have to sort that out.
yeah.
Keeping the referee on his toes, then
Wow.
making sure that the rack contains 7 of each at the start.
I say they'll have to sort it out tonight. They'll have to sort it out before the next event here,
Mm.
which is Inter-County in 3 weeks. But actually, these tables will not be used very much tomorrow morning. They will clear this particular area, I think, anyway,
Really?
for the presentation.
These tables would still be up.
These tables will still be here.
We'll see.
They have. If they're not, I'm going to have to move my cameras.
If you are interested in that particular question we have, then if you stay tuned in about 13 hours on the stream,
We will find out.
you will have your answer to that.
Yes.
No,
The people that come onto the YouTube video and think the best bit's about halfway through and cut to a dark room at 3 a.m. will. This is awkward.
I wonder if Mike's still considering a clearance. No.
No.
Just straight on the case of that difficult red. I think it's the best strategy to come to the table and work out. You have to work out what you're doing with the awkward ones. Because you'd have
Yes.
no bother clearing these 4.
Yes, you've got to have an idea. You say this problem red. The one in between the 2 yellows is not a gimme.
I would fancy moving the one behind the yellow this shot. Because I don't think Michael could. Well, he could maybe clear, but I don't think he could easily clear with the red tying up those 2 yellows. If he runs. Ooh,
This
Oh,
looks
that's
good. This looks
I
good.
mean, that's a fabulous effort.
That's a good
That's an
shot.
excellent shot.
I'd run as an alternative before that shot. If he'd potted that one and just run through, whether he could have played the cross double back on the red on the far cushion into this near pocket, and off the cross double develop the red that was against the 2 yellows.
Stop talking, do you?
Do you ever just pot straight in, or do you have to come off at least one cushion?
I have to admit safety's not the forte. But it's good to have mixed views in the commentary box.
This is true.
Oh, it's a cue ball.
It's okay.
It's a little bit more awkward with the black now. Just adding to that mess.
It is. Yeah, I can see this one taking a little while to resolve potentially.
We're already at 11 minutes for this frame, so Tristan's average is going up again.
What's my phone, please? I need to think about dinner.
This is now becoming more and more awkward. With the yellow now tight against the red. Michael's got a couple out in the open, which he didn't have before, so it sort of levels the out in the open with Tristan.
I think his previous shot was just to sort of develop those because
that's not what he played here. It's previous shot to develop them, as you just said.
Yeah, and then
It's
he's
almost
just
been
undone that. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's unfortunate from Michael.
We know there's problems. If you look at the comments on the post, it was very wrong. Apart from the no, there isn't.
I'm wondering what he's planning here. I think maybe just tighten up the corner a bit more.
Oh, it's fast.
Oh.
Do we see a situation where it will end up with just ace being left, or all the remaining balls being potted eventually?
I suspect so.
Would Michael here just push the red Tristan moved again over the corner?
I think he's looking to move his the second yellow in further.
May as well bring the black in there as well. Good mix.
Really making it difficult.
He's playing his last yellow by the looks of it. His last open yellow. Has he snookered himself?
You can hit the one on the cushion, but
Oh, well, he's looking to DF here, I think. Ooh, just dropped. And the yellows are nicely positioned behind the red, you'd have to say. I don't know if you can get the red in behind the yellows or not.
from the stream it looks it at least goes past the first one, I think.
Second visit.
What do you think Tristan will do here?
If I were Tristan, I'd be tempted to do something pretty underscript and see what Michael does next with the yellows there. Well, depends if they're plant or not. I think he's laid the total.
Definitely.
I don't think Michael could come off the far cushion as we look at the table, because the middle pocket's in the way. And is he pointing Tristan's red? Yeah. That's not a bad strategy.
I did wonder how long it would be before Michael started potting and DFing.
What's Tristan playing here? Is he playing the black?
I think. Is it the red into the... No.
Is he playing
No, it doesn't.
No. I think he might play this. And I wonder if he'll...
I wonder if that red does sneak past then and he was considering going for that.
Whether he's played the red now so we can lay it behind the yellows. And before I think he was looking at the black, I think he might be considering trying to put the black behind the yellows. Wow. This is getting tasty.
Little smirk from Tristan there.
Tristan wants his value for money for bucks. Bath University not covering the entry.
Oh.
As many unis I have heard have.
Okay, yeah. Shout out to York. Was mostly covered.
Shout out to the Bath players for paying. So he does want his value for money here, possibly. I mean, he's had a fair few frames already to get to this point.
Yeah.
Tristan,
think that was a
Tristan
good
came
result.
into this 10th seed, and I think Michael was also seeded.
Yeah, I'm not. I can't remember what number.
What
the seed
number?
was, yeah.
But assuming they were both seeded, that means they've had the same number of rounds to get here, which I believe is 7. One of the players, or Tristan's opponent in the semi-finals, was unseeded, so he'd played 1 or potentially 2 more matches to get to that point. I don't think that makes a huge difference because they're on different days, but if it was the same day, I think that could have had a factor. Yeah, endurance and everything. Or it's a foul snooker.
I wonder what Michael planned to do here.
Is the cue ball touching the black? I mean, I know he can move the cue ball if he wants to, but
It looks to be
all but anyway.
from here, yeah. But sort of at this distance, I don't have the sort of eagle vision needed to determine.
I think at this point in the frame, although Michael's got the 2 shots, I fancy Tristan's favour at this point in the frame. Michael's in a very difficult situation. He can move the white and it will still be a foul snooker. I wonder if he could come off the bottom cushion. That's not what he's looking at, but I wonder if he could come off the bottom cushion into the yellow and try and push the yellow and the black sort of over, such that then he'd be able to play the yellow either into the pocket or in behind the reds again. So if he came off the bottom cushion first, I don't think he's playing it
He's nominated the black and might be trying to get that behind.
behind the reds.
Yeah. Oh,
Wow.
overrun the timer. That's very unfortunate.
And now he's moved the white. I believe the white stays in the position Michael placed the white.
I'm actually
Was
unsure
that a
on
time
this.
foul?
Yeah.
Well, he has the option of ball in hand.
He has the option of ball in hand now again. Tristan does.
Yes.
Is that just because Michael had it in hand?
Nope.
Or no.
That is what you get from a time foul.
Ball in hand and 2 shots, or
And
ball-
2 visits, yes. Time foul is one of the 3 non-standard fouls.
I think in this instance, Tristan. I don't think he was in a bad place, but I don't think Tristan knew that rule because Tristan's previous experience has a lot of black ball, and he has already clarified a couple of rules this weekend that are much more common than that one. So I think in this situation, Tristan probably didn't realise that. I don't think in this situation, in this
I don't think it
context,
would
it made a
have
big
mattered too
difference,
much.
but that could have made a big difference
Yes.
in a different time in the frame.
It is a
I've played Wild Wolves for 3 years and I didn't know that.
No,
so-
I was actually debating that with someone in the semi-final, wondering what would happen in that case. And
It's an interesting one because I referee football as well, and part of that is educating the players as to the rules, and during the match that certainly can help manage the game. But in pool, it's very different. As a referee, you're strictly forbidden from offering any kind of coaching advice.
If
The
say-
mentality is that the players are expected to know the rules themselves.
If, say, Michael had placed in a different situation, say the white had come out of the pocket and Michael had placed it in the bulk area and then accidentally touched a red or a black or something and not actually hit the white and fouled, would it then be left in the position Michael put it?
It would, yes. It would be deemed as placed. Only if it was somewhere where it couldn't have been played, where...
Yeah, so Michael had it in his hand and he fouled, then what would happen? It would just
Here's an interesting one. What if he'd placed it somewhere other than bulk on the table and then fouled? He'd have played it as it lied. Whatever it happened to be. But anyway, back to the...
Could that be a tactical way to deliberate foul? If somebody potted the white, you could put the white in an absolute stinking position and then just hit it. Interesting way to deliver a foul. To not put
Well.
the white in the bulk area and then just play it.
it'd be very annoying.
You've got to be careful you don't stray into loss of frame fouls
Yeah.
then.
That's true. That's true.
It's
I don't quite know how we got onto that discussion. Oh my word.
well,
That's a fabulous result.
that's brilliant.
Although, if that's not touch, or if it is or isn't touching, he's about to be in a horrific snooker. I don't think there's any other shot here. I mean, it's touching. I guess it's slightly easier, but it's fairly irrelevant. Just whether it's deemed a foul or not, I think. Touching. Or you just got to tuck the white right in, then behind the red in the jaw of the pocket. That's pretty difficult to hit. Keeble, can you find a way to hit this yellow and get it safe?
No.
That's a DF, that's probably a sensible thing in that situation.
Absolutely.
Well, that's not ideal. Oh, he's just going to lay the snooker again. Can't blame him. I think if he'd had the angle to pop the red and develop the other red, he might have gone for it, but may as well just keep laying the snooker. Well, it will be a chance to hit it, but again, it's a classic, can't get it safe. Justin's red in bolt makes that impossible. It's a nice shot. It's tight.
I wonder.
I can't see Michael doing anything apart from just tucking it in here.
No. Do you have a prediction on how many shots the white will stay here for?
How long? When did this frame start?
This started at the hour mark, I believe. So
24 minutes into
yeah.
this frame. So we've had 2 frames now in the match that have been drawn out tactical. I think if Michael were to lose this frame, it would feel that it was pretty terminal. If Michael were to win this frame, I feel like I wouldn't say he definitely wouldn't have an advantage, but I feel like he just might have a little bit of flow and rhythm because it's not the sort of frame Tristan likes. And that is a fabulous shot from Michael. Although Tristan can develop this not such a way that he can pot it, come off the cushion, use the white. Oh, wow. Now then, did you play the snooker? It's now 8 shots the white's been. Snooker behind either the red or the black in that area of the table. It looked like at one point it would open up. Is Michael playing the black behind the yellow? Is he trying to swerve it?
I think that was the swerve. I think he's going for.
I'd be tempted here to try and tuck the black behind the yellow. If it goes wrong, that's the end.
That is the issue. I think Michael will have that in mind.
But equally,
He
if
won't
the
wanna-
swerve goes wrong, and I think if he doesn't pot it, he's lost the frame. It's not even hit it. That's frame over. I think if Tristan didn't clear these, I think he'd be extremely annoyed with himself. What would you do here? Would you try and move the black? Would you play on it to use the 2 shots? I think I'll play on it.
Yeah, with 2 visits.
In or over now.
I think no need to get too fancy here.
Just drop this dead weight.
He looks good to me. Doesn't need the second visit. Hi everybody, I need to go and sort out food because I'm hungry. Without wishing to put too fine a point on it. So I will leave you to enjoy the rest of the match.
And if you return later and we're still here, then you know that Michael's digging out some
Yes.
sort of comeback.
Yes. Either that or you're watching to wait and see what happens in 13 hours' time.
Back on trying to retrieve the black ball. I still fancy Michael for a comeback. I think it's his break, isn't it?
It is Michael's break, yep. 7th frame. 1 hour 30 into the match.
I feel if he plays well in this one, I think he will get a bit of a streak going. bit of momentum. I think the win's definitely still on for Mike. I think. Hopefully.
If Michael were to secure the win here, it really would be very impressive to come back from 5-1. What's your view of the match so far then? The 5-1 scoreline? Would you say that's a fair scoreline for the quality of pool that's been played?
I
By
think
both
so.
players?
Yeah. Overall, I think it has been quite even, but I think Tristan has edged ahead a lot.
Would you say is a 5-1 the lot you added there? You said 5-1 ahead?
I don't know, but perhaps I don't know. Perhaps one. I'm unsure. Maybe one more frame to Michael. I think.
What's your evaluation of the reason? I think there was a time foul on the other table, was it?
Another
Not
one.
quite sure. What's the reason for Michael's the scoreline? Is it Michael's made unforced errors? Is it just Tristan's outplayed him?
I think a little bit of both. I think there's been a few mistakes, but I think Tristan is just really capitalising on any chance he gets, which you would expect at this level.
So there's been very few mistakes from Tristan. You'd have to say.
Yeah.
He's had opportunities, he's taken them. Wow, that's an awkward place for the white to finish. At first glance, he's on nothing at all.
You're not eyeing up a double. Oh.
The double's there. I was wondering the red that's closest to the far left, far middle. As we look at it, if he could play that down the cushion, in off the yellow, in the far right hand corner.
the simple shot, obviously.
I think that makes it a big pocket. He's clearly not doing that, having chosen yellows. Can he cut this yellow into the middle pocket? The one he was just looking at, can he cut it into the opposite middle? I think it might cut into the middle nearest us. It's a thin one. But,
It's not.
where's he playing? What's he doing? Oh, I didn't see it went there. Well, that's a
That's
fabulous shot.
fantastic. That is a fantastic pool.
Not quite sure what his idea of for the next shot was, but time will tell. I mean, he could come off the cushion first and try and put the yellow of the right of the two to the left of the table. That's an ambitious shot again. What's he looking at?
Is he?
Is he playing a DF in behind the red? No. Oh, that's a great shot. If you, presuming he played that, if to get the yellow behind the red, if he played that well, that was fantastic. And the cue ball, tight, frozen to that bolt cushion. Does make it difficult.
Well,
Wonder
Tris. Oh, sorry, go on.
Wonder if, wow, no, I'm just going to suggest a shot and then realised. I think if the red hadn't been, the closest red to the opposite middle hadn't been there, the cross double could have been on from this red. Oh, as it stands, I want to move the red.
Just flick it out. A good decision.
Cue ball's in the middle of the table. I wonder if Michael might be tempted by the pot on the yellow that's second to the left as we look at the table into the corner. I wonder if he'd be tempted by that.
I think he's trying to work out what to do with that red that's below the yellow that's below the three
That
reds.
pots similarly to how he just looked. If he could pot this and get on it, he might be able to pot this and get on it the way he just looked at. He's played that pot. He was tempted. He wasn't on the yellow he looked at as well. Part of that, as the ladies' match concludes. Just had a call for Veronica there. She may have won the women's final,
Yeah,
but
do we
it's
have a result
unclear,
on that? Yeah.
unclear from here who did win that match. Veronica, I've just heard Veronica did win that match. Not sure if that one was first to 6 as well. That might have been first to 5 that match. No, it was first to 5. So that one's concluded slightly before this, which from those timings you would expect. And this one has had some slow frames, as we've discussed. One 30 minutes, one getting on for 30 minutes. So it's been a match of 2 halves almost. It's had 3 very quick frames.
Mixed bag.
Four really very quick frames and two real slow ones.
Tristan looks a little disappointed there. I think he wanted the pot from his reaction after it, and how he looked then. He looks a little annoyed with himself. I mean, it's a good position, obviously to block the yellow, but I think he fancied himself a clearance.
I feel like we've been here before tonight with a ball immediately behind another ball in the pocket. Let's see what happens this time.
Very Groundhog Day.
Michael. Oh no. Here we go again.
Well, this.
Always a cue ball going, or well.
Not.
We're a little bit quiet here. I'm not quite sure what to suggest.
Yeah, I think he was. I don't know if does. No, does the white go? No, it definitely doesn't. No. I think he's just going to pot and then come down for the yellow that's below the 2 reds. Oh,
Wow. What was he playing there?
no,
It definitely wasn't that.
I believe a cannon could be on here.
He played the 3-ball plant. Just got to make sure he hits it with enough pace the red comes out. You never quite know it's going to finish. There's a chance he could be extremely unlucky and pop both the red and the yellow. That's also a possibility. The other factor we're doing this is you leave the yellow over the corner pocket. It is an easy starter for Michael. If Michael comes to the table and he needs to get going. Is he playing this pot and try to cannon the other one in? Sort of 2 in 1? No.
No, not at all. No. Again, I think there's a reason we're up here and not down there playing.
Oh, he's not happy with that, is he? Flick of the cue. The cue ball's very close to where he started. So in terms of position, he's not gained a lot by doing that. I had to think the cue was almost exactly where it started because he had the angle to pop this yellow and cannon the other yellow out before.
Seeing the cogs whirring in his head.
Very focused, isn't he, at the table,
He's,
Michael?
He's come up with something.
Tristan also, you have to say. So we're at 5-1, so Michael's under the pressure that Tristan's not. Michael almost has to play no mistake pool now. Well, he does have to play no mistake pool, otherwise he'll be beaten. I fancy if it went 5-3, Michael would start to feel like he's back in the match. Again, when your opponent needs 2, you feel comfortable. When your opponent only needs 1, you do feel a bit more under pressure.
I think that helped in the semi-final. He had a bit of a cushion. Adam needed 2 to win, I believe.
Quite cagey play. Don't blame them, it's an important frame. More so for Michael and Tristan. Interesting to note is Tristan's break in the next frame as well. And that does tend to play to Tristan's advantage, so I don't think if he lost this he'd be... I think he will capitalise on his break in the next frame.
He's very quickly up to the table. I think he's planning a few moves ahead, definitely.
That's a clever shot. He certainly wouldn't have wanted Michael to have DF'd that onto the back of the yellow, I don't think. So maybe he's just trying to remove the possibility of that. But then again, if Michael decided to sort of move this yellow just a little bit closer to the pocket, which I think he's going to do, as long as he doesn't leave it so that Tristan can easily get the red out, or clothing foul on the red is leaning over, but it looks okay. He doesn't leave it so that Tristan can easily get the red out. It's a good shot. Just potting. In some ways that surprises me. Because I think Tristan could have got the red out.
Yeah.
But I think Michael's so stuck, and by removing another of Michael's balls, he doesn't have an easy entry, if he wanted one.
I think it's risky, because you can pot this down the cushion with a little bit of stun and then flick out his yellow with one of the two visits.
I think if Michael were to pot this under this pressure, this would be an unbelievable shot.
If he makes the pot,
one of the shots of Bucks, I think, if this drops. No.
Well, he didn't. Yeah, would have been nice.
Would have been nice. Now he's under a little pressure. What's he going to do here? Is he going for the pot? No. Oh wow.
That did look to be heading straight for them. That's probably good that he got the kiss.
And it was, it had definitely had plenty of weight to it. That did.
We're into this sort of pool again.
Do you reckon it'd be worth putting the black if you were Michael? Throwing that over the corner as well?
He
and then once
you've
got the black
earlier.
there, you may as well just start to pile up the rest of the balls as well.
Yeah, well that was his tactic earlier, wasn't it? Did he win that frame? I don't know. Or did Tristan win that one? Is that the one?
No, Michael dished. Didn't he?
Yeah, he did, didn't he? Yeah.
And that was his frame that he won, so Tristan must have dug that one out.
Yeah.
That's interesting to note as well. Like Michaels hasn't won a frame in this match where Tristan's played a part in it.
True.
At all. So whether Tristan knots Michael up enough, he struggles a little bit. Not quite sure what Tristan tried there. Did he play the pot?
It looked like it, but I mean, yeah, I thought he had, but
it was far enough away, but
wouldn't have expected him to miss by that much.
Then again, he can lay the snooker here, is I think what he's playing. Wow, that would have been a very clever way to do it. Could have just dropped it, dead weight more and played it behind the one that's nearest the bulk line. What do you do if you're Michael? You're faced with this table.
Oh.
You've got a minute to come up with something clever. Do you pile?
Give me a minute.
I'd be tempted to pile
Yeah,
Tristan's reds in
I
now
think-
and just create an absolute mess in that corner.
Well, there we go.
Wow. Where was he trying to put that red? They're not a plant. And the black isn't ideal.
No,
If Tristan were to go. Oh, are they?
pot in the leftmost will release the yellow and free up that other red. Not all that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sweet. Well played. Now the black's the only awkward ball now, really. Could he pot this and develop the black? Is that what he's looking at? Is it thin enough he could sort of snick this one in and come back? hit the yellow. So just got to be careful you don't pop the black.
Yeah, I think forcing would be
Possible, but as long as you don't play it too fast. No.
not what he's gone for.
I don't think he's got enough angle here to try and develop the black. Well, he'd like to be playing up the table for the 2 loose threads.
I'll be interested to see what his plan for the black is, where he's going to end up after potting the final
I
red.
think he might try the precise positional shot and try and run the cue ball almost full ball onto the yellow nearest the black. I think you'd be unlucky to snook yourself and not have a chance at the pot if you did that. If he just came off one cushion here with right hand side, a little bit of stun, right hand side, just hit the cushion just before the middle pocket, I think you could play onto that red, and if you missed it you'd probably come in behind, play onto the yellow, and if you missed it you'd probably come in behind it. You'd be unlucky to be snookered. He's played. Well, maybe it goes directly then. In which case, that's the least risky option. Tough pot, you'd have to say.
Very tough.
Don't know if he'll be canning in the yellow with the white if it didn't go in. If he would, that would be a disadvantage. He didn't. Now, how close is that black to the cushion? Oh. Well, we were wrong. Michael was wrong. Tristan, in fact, has a second shot. And in the black.
Well, there we go.
Final score 6-1 to Tristan Horton from Bath.